Hi! Last time on our adventures in Season of Discovery, we completed all the quests in the Barrens, got a very rare recipe on the way, which I by the way now sold for 3 gold instead of the 24 I mentioned in the earlier video. Please kill me. And got our ass handed over to us by random Kiraji mobs and got bullied by Alliance players. This episode we will make our way to the Black Fathom Deeps to get us huge amounts of XP in a very short time and hopefully get us insane upgrades so we can defend ourselves if someone decides to fuck with us. But first, we kill a few more half-naked women. They dropped a Christmas hat, and that got me really hyped since we didn't have an item on our helmet slot yet, which meant we could engrave it with a very strong rune now, making us even stronger. My disappointment was immeasurable, and my day was ruined, which is why I decided to go back to Hillspread to get ourselves an actual hat for the rune. You see, I still had that quest from last time, where I had to kill Miner Hackett, who was inside the Azure Lode mines, and that quest would then reward me with a hooded cowl, which was an actual helmet. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, I decided to finally get myself into a BFD group, since I knew that if I got the items from that raid, I would be unstoppable. Luckily, there was already a group assembling, which then quickly after I joined, disassembled again. No big deal though, since literally 2 minutes later someone else whispered me and asked if I would like to join, which I then replied with, invite DPS. Fast forward 10 minutes and we're all inside BFD now. And I see the raid leader say this.
I do everything. Just don't die so you don't lose XP.
This confused me, so I hovered over his character and realized that this guy was level 60, making this BFD run an absolute cakewalk. I can already see all the classic boomers complain about this one. This new change is messed up beyond belief, the whole... So we kill the first boss and nothing drops, which I could use. We then go on to kill Gamura, and the Shimmering Thresher cape drops, which would be a big upgrade for me. Hensky, the hunter, rolls a 95, and I already knew that I was cooked. I roll and hit a 75. Close, but unlucky, I guess. Next up was Lady Sareves. And she had the potential to drop insane loot for me. And she did. The Honed Darkwater Blade was a very big upgrade for me. We roll a 69. Nice. Hensky follows up with a 71. I swear to God, Hensky, if I ever find you in real life, we got the sword. I don't know how or why, but the raid leader decided to give it to us. Surely because of the 69 roll, right? Next up was Twilight Lord Kelris, who dropped the Twilight Avengers chain, which was huge for warriors. But if you take a closer look at our group, there was already a warrior in the raid, so you know what that means. The last boss, Akumai, dropped the epic sword, but since I wanted to dual wield anyway, and the raid leader somehow decided to keep it for himself for some reason, he also dropped some very strong mail boots, which I obviously got. I went in there with huge expectations and got a sword. That's it. One positive about this whole raiding experience was that we finally reached level 30, 31 to be exact. This meant that we were finally able to start the warrior quest chain to get the Berserker stance, which would require us to go to this island just off the shore of Ratchet and massacre a few of our fellow friends. Warriors are really brutal if you think about it. Anyways, we show no mercy, get our Berserker stance, which would be kind of useless until level 36, where we get the Whirlwind ability, which would increase our damage drastically, especially since one of our runes would make our Whirlwind ability hit the target with both weapons, but until then, no use. Since we're done with everything in the Barrens and Stone Talon Mountains, I decided to step foot into Thousand Needles, where we would spend a good amount of time for now. On my way from the Barrens down to Thousand Needles, I stumbled across this NPC called Gant Stonespire, who just stood there, glazing over the barren fields of the Barrens. Man, who in here wrote this script? Quickly after I arrived in Thousand Needles, I once again saw these crystals with the Kiraji mobs, and since they were way higher level now and looked way scarier and intimidating than before, I knew that I should stay away from them for now, if I wanted to avoid getting beat up again. I made my way to the Freewind post and accepted all the available quests there. First quest I wanted to complete was killing all the centaurs just north of the Freewind post and decimating the whole tribe. At this point, I also realized that the Horde really has a huge grudge against these centaurs. I mean, we killed them in Durotar, then in the Barrens, and now we're here destroying another camp full of centaurs. I kind of feel bad. Just kidding. Warrior go. Once I dealt with those guys, I made my way to one of the caves where I accepted the Test of Faith quest, which then instantly teleported me on top of one of these spires and told me to jump down. I'm not gonna lie, every time I see or do this quest, I'm kind of scared that the guy forgets to teleport me back and just watches me turn into ground beef. I then apparently activate friendly fire to kill a few Tauren on a spire and collect 3 secret notes just to find out these Tauren are actually bad guys. I know, right? Shocking. I collect all the notes and then save Lakota Windsong, who has been abducted and held hostage by these grim totems, and quickly make our way down again. After around 56 minutes of quickly making our way down later, I complete a few more quests here. Collect a few wyvern eggs, escort another random Tauren out of a sticky situation, and kill a few more naked women. At this point it just feels weird, guys. I then make my way to one of my favorite leveling areas of all time, which is the Shimmering Flats. It's just killing and collecting quests, which you can complete by running around in a circle once. The only downside is that if you're playing on a PvP server and decide to pick a warrior, which I did, you might get bullied for 30 minutes straight by a druid that just roots you and kills you all the time. I mean, look at this. There is no counterplay to this, and the best part about that is that I was spamming my meat hook ability, which apparently only works on targets 1 level above me, and this druid was exactly 2 levels above me. After bullying me for a while, he eventually left and allowed me to complete the quests here, which at the end got us to level 34. At this point, I was kind of lost on where to start leveling. I didn't want to go to STV yet, since I knew what would expect me there, which meant my only option was to go to Desolus, where no one in their right mind would like to level. So I made my way there, and guess what my first quest there was supposed to be? Killing another tribe of Centaur, just to increase our reputation with a different tribe just a few steps further to the east. Please someone explain the lore to me, I'm really confused now. Now this quest took me a while, since it required me to get friendly status with the Magrum clan by killing the Gelkis Centaurs, and every kill rewarded me with only 20 reputation. At the same time, the reputation with the Gelkis decreased by 100. So I had to decide. Since I spent a lot of time killing these caster mobs, I also realized that having no kick was a big issue. I hadn't learned shield bash yet, and even if I did, I didn't have a shield to use it, and obviously after swapping stances you lose all your rage. And the only other kick I would learn would be pummel, which you learn at level 38. This meant that stuff like this happened to me a lot. Oh no, I can't do anything about it. Okay, I'm going. Oh no. After another 30 minutes of killing Centaur, I made my way to the other tribe to turn in the quest. On my way there, I saw many Alliance players, mainly hunters that had very interesting names and even more interesting movements. I then saw a quest on the minimap, which drops off of these Burning Blade summoners. Maybe we can get a quest here. That's a Burning Blade. Oh boy, okay, we're not doing that. Nope. I would get that later from the other Burning Blade summoners that were way lower level than those guys down here. I turned in the quest and didn't bother repeating that process again for the other tribe, so I just went up north to kill the leader of the Centaur. After doing that, I went up to the little village of Burning Blade members to get the same quest I was too scared of getting from that high level orc before, and quickly walked over to Morin Bonesplitter to turn it in, who then wanted me to get the Shadowstalker scalp from the satyrs in the north. But before I did that, I gave the head of the Centaur leaders to that one guy that needed it so badly, and he then told me to grab some more ears from those centaurs. I mean, sometimes I really wonder what they do with all those body parts, not gonna lie. Anyhow, it all went well, since they were about 4 to 5 levels below me. Right? Oh boy, I am in trouble. Or am I? I am. Why did I just... What? As I said, everything went well, and I quickly collected the 15 years and made my way up to the north to the satyrs to get the Shadowstalker scab out of the first mob. Life as a warrior has been very painful up until now, but I gotta say that we are pretty lucky. Fast forward a bit and I am now on the coast of Desolus, killing crabs and nagas, and try to collect 2 different keys for a lockbox at that small island just off the shore. The silver key and the golden key. The golden key drops from the nagas, while the silver one drops from the big crabs that were swimming around underwater. While underwater, I also collected these sea clams for another quest, and let me tell you that at this point I was literally losing my mind. Why? Well, I'm constantly underwater and warriors still have no self-healing, besides Victory Rush, which I can't even use properly since it's interfering with my single-minded Fury rune, which is pretty essential for dual-wielding warriors. Once I was done with all those quests, I turned them in and got to around level 36.5, and that was the moment where I decided to finally make my way to Stranglethorn Vale, or also known as Vietnam. Why Vietnam? Well, No particular reason, honestly. Just the fact that I was being killed by random alliance players while I was minding my own fucking business, which led to me making about 20% XP in 60 minutes. Playing warrior on a PvP server sucks, guys. Please don't do it. Let me calm down and rewind a little bit and go more into detail. First I flew back to Orgrimmar, where I finally picked up Whirlwind and bought myself some food again, since I knew I would need it later. We buy a lot of meat, because I like meat. What? That was honestly the last good memory for the next 2 hours pretty much. I took the boat from Ratchet to Booty Bay and tried dancing with a fellow Tauren, but he didn't seem to be interested. Some troll in the background even died watching me dance. I mean, come on guys, it was not that bad. Once I arrived in Booty Bay, I walked around a bit and accepted a few more quests when I saw this guy laying in the air in the fetal position. This was the moment where I knew what would expect me in this zone. Pain, suffering, and a little bit of crying. I take the path up north to start my questing journey in the Nessingbury camp. And everything is going great for now. No one is annoying me and I'm able to kill a few tigers and panthers to complete my quests. I even see some alliance players doing the same thing. We look at each other but continue doing our own thing. Pretty chill honestly. But then there was this one guy. That one random rogue that is always near the Nessingbury camp. No matter what server or what time, he is always there. And that specific guy spotted me. He opens up with a cheap shot. I counter his play with 3 seconds later, I'm free. Then, like I'm not already dead on the floor, this guy decides to launch a fire blast in my face and continues staring at me. Well, that's the STV experience, I said, and continued questing. Surely it wouldn't be like this forever, right? I prayed that he would leave, and he actually did. I killed a few more animals surrounding the camp, and then this happened. I have retail soon. If I had retail up, I would have won. I was pissed, and luckily enough, there was a low-level paladin that would have to suffer my wrath now. I needed to blow off some steam, so I took advantage of this opportunity. I charged him, hit my rend, and knew that I would... I guess I'm not doing it, guys. I guess I'm not doing it. I knew this spot wasn't happening, so I went a little further into the jungle and decided that I would go and try killing the raptors first, since that spot is usually not as crowded as right here. I walk up the hill and the first thing I see is an undead mage in dire need of some help. Right next to him there was a paladin, waiting for him to get out of ice block so he could end his fun experience that is playing on a PvP server. I couldn't just stare and watch, since I knew that he would definitely attack me once he saw me, so I had to take my chances and hope that the mage survived and we could kill him together. But before I was even able to charge him, the mage perished, making this whole situation a 1v1, and you guys know the rest. Before I continue telling the story of how I became the clown of Stranglethorn, all of this footage you see right now was live streamed on twitch.tv/Varian and this YouTube channel. So if you want to see me suffering live, tune in into one of my streams. Or else... I run back to my corpse, resurrect, and I am now surrounded by 2 other Horde members, so I felt really safe. I kill a few raptors and feel like the suffering part is finally over. It couldn't be further from the truth. A few minutes later, just as I almost finished my first quest in STV, I spotted that human paladin again, that whooped my ass earlier sitting behind the tree. I wasn't the only one who saw him, so we blasted him and then he... I think he logged off. But as far as I know, the logout timer should cancel if you get attacked, so I don't know what happened here, honestly. Anyways, just as I was going to leave this place, my spy add-on notifies me that the paladin logged back on, so I did a U-turn and went straight to him to finally end his life. But obviously that never happened, since there was a night elf rogue jumping on the shaman that has been questing here for a while. We were able to kill the rogue, but the paladin once again killed us both. I'm pretty sure he logged off and called his buddy up to help him out of the situation, but I could be wrong. At this point, I was really annoyed and thought about just quitting it here, but I persisted. I ran back to my corpse again, and lo and behold, they were camping our corpses, so there was literally no reason to resurrect, which is why I quit. Until the next episode.